Perfect conditions greeted the competitors as we got ready for the qualifying race here at Potrero de las Funes, this amazing circuit around the lake. Up front, the number 8 Aston Martin had pole position, Stefan Mucker at the wheel in a car he's sharing with an Argentinian superstar this weekend. But as the lights went to green and the start got underway, it was a brilliant start. From the other side of the front row, Jan Clare in the Hexis Aston Martin sneaked ahead as they headed down towards the first couple of corners. On board the other Hexis car, it was all looking pretty tight, and then the number 8 Aston Martin ran into the back of the 9 car, and the 10 car spun around. It did recover amazingly. You can see from the rear-facing camera, everybody managed to avoid it, and it was a miracle that we still had 2 of those front-running Aston Martins in the race. But the number 8 Aston Martin was in trouble with a broken bonnet and broken cooling system as well. The number 9 Aston Martin, the Hexis team, was in front, but good starts by both of the Martech Fords meant they were in the fight. Meanwhile, Michael Bartels in the number 1 Vitaphone Maserati was just trying to stay out of the number 8 car posted to a halt. It was not going to play any further part in this race. Up front, though, going on all the way through. Second place was now being held by Nicholas Armindo in the Martech Ford, and his teammate Thomas Much was one of those on a charge, and in fact he was pushing for third place, trying to get past Dominic Schwager on one side, as Michael Crew in the Nissan was almost going around the outside of the... The rest of the field continued their battles once the safety car came in, and it all got pretty hot up front. Still leading was the number 9 Aston Martin, but the 2 Martech Fords were not far behind. Nicholas Armindo was running in second place. Thomas Much was in third position, and as they chased down that Aston, it looked as though the Fords had a little bit more pace perhaps at this stage in the race. And then we got a real bunching up process. Nicholas Armindo seemed to be attacking for the lead one moment, and then in the very next moment, Thomas Much behind in third place suddenly had a great run going, and it looked as though Nicholas Armindo was in trouble. He shot past him, and sure enough, the number 6 Martech Ford was in trouble. It was an ECU problem, and Neil Yarney couldn't quite believe it. His car was not running well at all. Well, we also had more battles going on. Clivio Piccioni trying to keep another of the Ford GTs behind him, but we were now getting into Makavicki, but they had a comfortable advantage as everyone made their pit stops, and it was Richard Westbrook now those stops. Westbrook found his way past, but that wasn't the end of his challenge, and indeed the Lamborghini lost out and placed to Maxime Martin in another of the Ford GTs, the one run by Mark VDS Racing. Well, Michael Krum had now handed over the number 23 Nissan to Peter Dumbreck, and he was in the mix as well with this particular group, all of them really fighting over second place, which was being held by Clivio Piccioni. That's how close they were getting, bumping into each other as they came through the chicane. Westbrook immediately behind with the lights ablaze on the Ford. This was second, the Nissan, and indeed trying to get past Piccioni. At this point, Piccioni ran wide. It actually cost the Nissan more time than anybody here, and it was Dumbreck that paid the penalty, losing a place first to Westbrook and then indeed to Max Martin as well, and those two then ganged up on the Aston Martin in second place, and Richard Westbrook pulled off this beautiful move into turn 19, just dived down the inside. A brave place to do that. We've seen a couple of cars in trouble there this weekend towards taking both the drivers and the team's championships. Andrea Bertolini was stroking it home, as up front the same was happening for the Aston Martin number 9 with Fred Makavicki at the wheel. It was a beautiful performance from the team, going through to take their second qualifying race win of the 2010 season and put the Hexis team right into the team's battle, certainly for second and third at the end of the season. But the big story is the victory in the championship.